What's good, everybody? Time for a DL short. So, as you know, there's been a major shift to family law in the state of Florida. What am I talking about? I am talking about alimony. Governor Ron DeSantis has signed into law new rules governing alimony. There is no more forever alimony in the state of Florida. I got to give to Ron DeSantis. I got to tip my hat to that. He's been doing a lot of things down here, mostly bad, but this I don't have a problem with it. I'm going to do a more detailed live about this topic probably later on in the week to talk about the effects of this new law on the Republican Party in Florida and how this, amongst other things that DeSantis has done, uh, will, I don't know, maybe hand the state of Florida to the Democrats in 2024. That conversation will be had on Downrange Podcast. Be looking for the thumbnail. But let's talk about what he did. And what the governor did. Here it is right here. Lane Law Firm PA. This is a Palm Beach divorce attorney. This is their website where I'm getting this information. Alimony in Florida law, alimony reform 2023 signed into law. The Florida Alimony Reform Bill passed the Florida legislature and was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis on June 30th, 2023. This bill will have significant impact on how alimony will be awarded in Florida. It applies to all initial petitions for dissolution of marriage that are filed or pending on July 1st, 2023, and to certain supplemental petitions for modification of alimony. The following is a brief synopsis of how alimony will be awarded in Florida under this new legislation. So there are a lot of people out here, and you guys know I rock with the manosphere, the mano swamp, the red pill world, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, let's just keep it 100. I think pretty much everybody would agree that the family court system is not friendly to males per se. I take it a step further. I don't think the family court system cares about gender as much as they care about who is the major earner before the court. So whoever makes the most money is, generally speaking, the person who's going to get wrecked. They're going to get wrecked all sorts of ways. They're going to, if they're out there working, that means the other person is at home taking care of the kids. If there's kids involved, taking care of the home and all that kind of stuff. So the person who makes the most money is probably going to lose the house. They're going to have to pay child support. They're going to, in most cases, pay some form of alimony. They're going to probably lose half of their retirement. It's all sorts of things. And that's, mostly that's men, because up until recently, men have been the breadwinners, right? Men were the guys men were going out working and making money and supporting the family. That's starting to shift. Women are making as much, if not more, than their male counterparts these days. Women are graduating college in higher numbers, and you guys have heard all the rest. So I've been saying this for a while. I'm like, you're gonna see a shift, right? You're gonna see a shift in the family law system. Now, this I didn't anticipate, but I think it's a really good thing. And again, I'm not on gender right now. I'm on equality. I'm on justice. This makes sense. Paying someone alimony forever makes zero sense. None whatsoever. I mean, in today's world, I can get it, going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even the 90s. But today, no. Forever alimony, no. So let's look at some of the things that did change. And it says, first, the bill eliminates permanent alimony, which it should. I'm 100% on board with that. In its place will be 4 types of alimony. They will be temporary, bridge the gap, rehabilitative, and durational alimony. Courts may order alimony to be paid in a lump sum or as periodic payments. All right. So that's when people get into that, right? So secondly, and this I thought was real interesting, courts will be permitted to consider the adultery of either spouse and its resulting economic impact in determining the amount of alimony awarded, which is crazy. And so that's big. And it goes into a whole lot of different things. And I'm going to get into that on the downrange, when I do the downrange podcast about this. But they break down the terms of, marriage, right? So they break down uh how they determine, caps. Basically, they have caps for alimony, right? So, and I'm trying to find it here. There's language in here that says that one spouse is going to have to prove that they have a need, and that the other party, I should say, one party is going to have to prove that there's a need, and that the other party has the financial stability to compensate or pay for that need. Um, which is like, wow, they take in consideration standard of living, duration of marriage, like the duration of the party's marriage, right, is going to be taken in consideration. The party's age, physical and mental condition, the income and resources of both parties, and the income earned from the marital and non-marital assets. Um, this is like huge. And I'm trying to find, there was a part in here, I think it was like part 7, which I'm trying to find. Oh, 7. The responsibilities that each of the parties will have in raising children that they have in common, not biological. The responsibilities of raising the children, the financial responsibilities of raising children that they have in common. Look out, stepfathers. Y'all might want to look into that one. Um, and it says, and it breaks down the different terms, right? It says that short-term marriage is going to be considered a marriage that's less than 10 years. A moderate term marriage is going to be considered to be a marriage that lasts between 10 and 20 years. A long-term marriage will now be considered to be a marriage that lasts 20 years or more. The length of the marriage is considered to be the amount of time that is elapsed between the date of the marriage and the date of filing for divorce. All right. So, and then it breaks it down. It starts getting into, well, what would the alimony look like? Bridge the gap alimony may be awarded to assist the party in making the transition from married to single life. It is intended to assist the party with identifiable short-term needs. The length of the award of the bridge the gap alimony may not exceed 2 years. Caps, which makes sense. 2 years. And that's for short term, right? And that's like the short term. When you have short, you have middle, you have long term, right? That's, okay, cool. The rehabilitative alimony is intended to provide education and training that will enable the party to become self-supporting or contribute to their own support. Under the new alimony reform legislation, an award of rehabilitative alimony may not exceed 5 years. 2 years, 5 years. And then you have durational alimony lasts for a set period of time. It may not exceed 50% of the length of the short-term marriage, 60% of the length of the moderate term marriage, and 75% of the length of the long-term marriage. An award of durational alimony may be executed under exceptional circumstances based upon the above described 9 factors in consideration of the following 4 factors. First, the extent to which the payee age and employability wholly or partly limited to the payee's ability to be self-supporting. And it goes on. Second, the extent to which the payers of available financial resources wholly or partially limit the payers' ability to be self-supporting. And third, the extent to which the payee's mental or physical disabilities wholly or partly limits the payee's ability to self-support. Right. And it kind of it gets into a bunch of other stuff, caregiving for children with special needs and stuff like that. But the big thing, caps. And it makes sense. It makes complete sense. And I think under this law, if you've been married less than 3 years, you're not entitled to any form of alimony. This all makes sense. So if you're married for 20 years, you can get 75%. So you can get 15 years of alimony max. If you're married for 20 years, you can get 15 years of alimony, unless my math is off. You guys tell me in the chat below if my math is off. That's it. Now it goes for men too. Like, when people hear this stuff, they're always thinking, the money is going from the man to the woman. Why? Because in most cases, that's how it is. But I'm telling you, times are changing. There are going to be women out there getting caught up in this. And that's good for them because they're making money. There are caps. 2 years, 5 years. And if you 20 years in, maybe 15 years, but no more forever alimony. And they could take in consideration if you're being faithful or not. They could take in consideration of that. That's crazy. They could look at, okay, well, Yeah, you've been at home being a homemaker, but you have a master's degree in business management. Why can't you go out and get a job? They take that into consideration. This is a game changer. This is a game changer. Again, I'm going to get more a deeper dive on Downrange Podcast. I'm gonna do a live and have some discussion, and we'll have some chats and stuff like that, and kind of field some opinions and whatnot. But overall, I think this is a good thing. I really do. I think that this is leveling the playing field. When you all the feminists of the world, if you're a feminist and you're out there, you should be jumping up and down. You should be cheering like, yes, yes. Why? Because you don't need a man. Right? If just keeping it 100, if you're a feminist, this should be great news for you. That's one state down, 49 states to go. Hey, we got to convince 49 other governors to make these changes. These are common sense solutions. It makes all the difference in the world. People are wondering why men aren't getting married anymore. Well, men are just getting tired of getting wrecked. A lot of dudes were getting wrecked. I mean, there's just no way around it. These are the facts. Well, if we remove that part of the equation, if we make it to where it's even, hey, this doesn't work. We were married 3 years. All right, well, it just didn't work. Sorry, it didn't work. Take care. Okay, bye. That's it. No money's paid out, anything. Of course, we got child support, but we'll put that off to the side for a moment. And if you're married for an extended period of time, okay, well, you can get up to 2 years of alimony. A little bit longer, you can get up to 5 years of alimony. And then, 20 years plus, you're looking at 15 years or so of alimony. And then you're going to also have to state the need. You're going to have to prove that you have a need, and you're going to have to prove that the other party can actually pay, instead of just blindly cutting checks to people anymore. Now, I think this is huge. I like the fact that common sense appears to be seeping into the family law system, right? So now all we have to do, right, is add some common sense laws to the child support side of the house. Why is it that it's not a 50-50 split? Why is it that we don't want both parents involved? Why is it that we monetize children? If we could get into that and make that level and even and just, and I think you'll have more men getting married. I don't think men will mind. It's like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna get equal access to my child. I'm not gonna have to pay this other adult over here to not go to work. Right? And more than likely, because I have my child half the time and my child is with the other parent half the time, we don't have to pay each other money for the kid. We're not monetizing our children anymore. And if there is a need, we should be able to handle that. And if we can't, we go to court, and the court will say whatever the court's going to say. Okay, dad, if you don't have the money to take care of your child while the child is with you, we're going to let mom have the child a little bit longer so you can go out and actually make that money. Once you get your finances together, we'll get you back to 50-50. So until then, we're going to go with the 70-30 split, just so you can go out there and make that money. That makes sense to me. Man, I'm real curious as to what you guys are thinking. No more forever alimony. Did you think Ron DeSantis did a good thing or a bad thing? Just on its face, we're not talking about the political, ramifications and all that. We're not going to talk about the political fallout, but just on its face, is it a good thing that forever alimony is gone? Let me know in the comments. And do you guys believe that maybe some reform is needed when it comes to child support and giving children equal access to their parents? And should we, in fact, stop monetizing children? Maybe look at the way we are doing things with respect to our children. And maybe that should change. I'm hoping that these common sense reforms flow over to the other side. And I think that'll be a good start. And once these things begin to happen, men will indeed get married more. Why not? They don't stand to lose as much. At least that's my take on it. You guys let me know what you're thinking. And yeah, man, we're going to leave it there. Be looking for the thumbnail for Downrange Podcast. We're really going to dive into this. We're going to get into a little bit more what the law actually states. We're going to get into what does this mean in real life? How does this look for those people who are already receiving alimony? And we're going to look at the political fallout with the Republican Party, in particular, women who seem to be real upset about this. Seems to be a lot of women who were mad. These women were screaming independent, but now they mad. I thought you was independent. So we're gonna get into that. So yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. I'm DL Saint. Peace.